Hello, 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 my resilient risers.
Hey everyone, good evening.
Welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. Now, as y'all can hear, my voice is not doing well, so I have backup.
Yeah, so she had to call me up for backup tonight. So
Yeah, but I want to welcome you to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. As you know, Poetry and Perspective with Placid is a very informative, very educative channel where we promote people. We promote people of like minds like ourselves and anybody who want to advocate for anything. Okay. The slogan of the show is Let Your Voice Be Heard. So we allow people to share their experiences, to empower, inspire, and motivate others to know that they are not alone in their struggles and that there's someone else who's always going through something. And those who promote their work, it gives them a chance to be seen by people from all over the world who watch this show. So, my co-host tonight is the renowned author, children author, award-winning author, Baptist Paul. Baptist, tell us, what brought you here tonight? Besides me calling you.
um yeah, I received this message from you and you said like I need help, man. I need someone to step in for me tonight. I am not feeling the greatest. And I said, I got you. I got your back. So here I am tonight and I will be I will be the one kind of running the show for the most part, but the show is not going to be about me. It's going to be about our amazing guest. We have someone who's just phenomenal waiting so everyone can hear her story. So it's not going to be about me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, guys, as as I said, Baptist is a let me see if I can find my bearings on this. Baptist is a two-time award-winning author. Is it two-time? Am I
No,
lying? Tell me if I
no, you're
lied on
lying
it.
to yourself. It's a lot.
Now, listen, guys, y'all know me. I am going to be myself for the show, no matter whether sick or not. I'm going to be myself. All right. So, but he is an award-winning author, and Baptist has published so many books. How many have you published, Baptist?
Um, Last count, I think there was like eight. There's two more coming out next year. Following year, there's three. And I just finished a memoir, which is 320 something pages.
So you is a busy man.
Yeah, plus I travel all over the world, speak, do my thing, excite kids for reading and writing and just share that love.
Yes, I see you doing. I see you. Baptist. Where is Baptist Paul? What was your first journey?
What was my first journey? I can't remember. No, I can't remember what my first journey was. And it's a good thing you mentioned that because I got a lot of St. Lucian people watching it as well. And it's always good to go to a different area, meet someone completely different, someone in a different walk of life, and share their Americana stories with me. And as I zigzag across the country, I'm getting to know so many beautiful people who are doing just great work.
Wow, that's amazing. Sometimes I could be, I wish I, when I look at your videos, I wish I could be a fly on the wall.
Maybe maybe you can come with me at some point, right? That'll be
At
cool.
some point, just come pick me up. Hey, my son is not in school. Maybe the three of us can go. We just jump in and let's go. He loved the journey.
Oh, he loved the
Okay.
journey.
Yes, well, guys, listen. This is one of Baptist books. Of course, we have to give props to our guests. This is one of Baptist books. Okay, am I sharing? Yes. So one of his books is a Dare to Dream.
Oh, dare you dream big? Yeah, that's
Well,
one of
I have free eyes and I still can't see nothing. Eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's dare you dream big, and it's one of those books I wrote primarily for Black and Brown kids. And let me tell you,
Mhm.
man, them white people did not like that. I got so much flack for that book. I even got them sending me emails saying like I will never promote that book to my white students. I said, why? You
You
know,
kidding?
I'm being totally honest. And one said to me in an email, a really long email from Florida, She said, I love everything you write, but not that one. I'm like, why? Because it focuses on the historical things that have happened. I said, no, 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 no. I mention it, but you fail to realize what the true message of the book was. Hope. Because I ended the book on a hope note, and I said, like, as we rise, we people of color, we extend a hand and we bring someone else up with us. And that's the whole message in this book, because we can't do this alone. And all the spaces
Absolutely
around
not.
us, we need to be able to see our faces in all those spaces around us. We ain't
Wow.
gonna let history repeat itself, no matter how
No,
hard this country wants to go back to the old times. We are gonna let that happen.
absolutely. Well, guys, this is one of his books, and as the show goes on, we are going to be taking little breaks to promote his work and promote my work, and of course, our main guest. She has a lot to offer us. Okay, so as you guys know that I am a three-time published author of three amazing books. My first book, I don't even know where they are on the screen right now, but they are everywhere. My first book is entitled When Life Stood in Silence. Let me see if I can find something, guys. It's entitled When Life Stood in Silence. And this book, of course, you all know this is something that everybody want. This book, that's the book I was fighting with people for. Let me remove this first and then
That one right there, I see it.
yeah, that one right there. This is the book that they really want. Everybody's after this book. Is a book I wrote about my struggles with mental illness, my suicide attempts, and everything that has happened in my life, my struggles and whatever. And this is that book. Everybody is just passionate about that book, and of course, they go have it. But of course, we are from the beautiful Caribbean island of Saint Lucia. I forgot to say that. We are from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia, and then we are making strides. And of course, I know the person who's there, of course, is from the Caribbean as well, but I'm going to let her tell you guys where she's from, okay? But it is almost time to bring her on. But before I bring her on, I want to say this. We do not use profanity, nor do we promote politics and religion on the show. It's okay to say that God did this, you pray or God did that for you, but the in depth of politics and religion, we do not entertain it on the show because everything has its time and place. And this is a place we want it to be fun, exciting, without having the divisions that politics and religion bring in different arenas. So I just wanted to bring that out there, and let's just have fun. Okay, so well, tonight, before we continue tonight, I want to say a welcome to all my guests who are watching, all my viewers. Listen, without you guys, this show would be nowhere. I'm telling you, and I'm thankful. Now I can show y'all on my screen. So we have Modest Glam Martha. She said, "Good evening, Cindy," and good evening, Cindy and Paul. She said my voice sounds off yesterday.
She said she likes the vibes we got going on tonight.
She said she likes the vibe we got going on. Yes, we
Well,
do, and then we're
Martha,
gonna keep,
that's up to you, girl.
yes, we're gonna keep it going on. Okay, so let me see who else do we have before we bring our guest. I'm excited to bring her. Actually, we have with us Nymphia Emmanuel is watching, and Natalie Satney, how are you doing, darling? Jennifer Placid, Charlois, how are you? We have Maureen Sanin who's watching. And for all of you who is in the background, I can see you all. We can't see you all. We just want to say welcome to Porch and Perspective with Placid. Tonight promises to be very inspiring. Now, with that said, I'm going to let my co-host take over and welcome our guest and let him start off with her. Okay, so without further ado, let me welcome our guest, and Baptist, you take over.
Oh, perfect. All right, people. So tonight you are going to meet the amazing Tamara Garman. Tamara, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to be here.
All right, perfect. So Tamara, um, I'm gonna just read a bio for a little bit, okay? Just a girl with a dream. Has been many mantras for some time now. She serves as the passion fuel for my journey of excellence from corporate to the world of art. I am an educator, artist, designer, and curator who has always been who has been solution oriented and eager to share my gifts in every space I enter. As the mother of three amazing young men, I navigate being a mother, advocate, and doctor. The twins were born at 26 weeks, and my kid has never been the same. And that's a great way to start, Tamara. So, Tamara, tell us a little bit about you.
Born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. So I am also Caribbean, of course. I
Hats off to
have been,
our island people, right?
listen, island people, we have to stick together. And I have a true love for St. Lucia. One of my best friends is from St. Lucia, from Castries. So I know all about Lucians. But being raised in Jamaica and going through what we know as our education system, I knew I wanted to give back. And in giving back, I wanted to become an educator. Initially, I wanted to be an artist, but my mom said, no child of mine. As you know, Caribbean parents, he's a lawyer, doctor, Indian chief, but never an artist. And so I pursued what my parents wanted and I became an educator. I taught English, drama, history in middle school. I then went on to go to become a tertiary education director, which means a director of admissions for a university. And then I went back to my passion, which was going back to be a principal. So I'm passionate about art, history, and in itself, children. While I was pregnant with my twin boys, they were born at 26 weeks, as I said, and one of them is disabled. He has cerebral palsy, he's hearing impaired, and he has chronic lung disease. And so my journey for advocacy switched from just being an educator to now being an advocate for children with disabilities.
Yeah, can you share with us a little bit of how that diagnosis of finding out your son's medical condition and how that has affected or changed or how things your everyday work around the home with a child with a disability?
Absolutely. So happened that it's now been almost 21 years since I've had them. They'll be 21 in October. And for me, life changed. Once you receive that diagnosis when they're coming early, they prepare you for the worst. They told me that he and his twin brother, because they're twins, would not survive 2 hours, 2 weeks, 2 months. And if they survived that time, that they would both be disabled and would not walk nor talk. That diagnosis within itself is catastrophic for a mother, a first time mother at that. And when they talk about these things, because young Black boys tend not to survive, and what happens is that they give you less hope. They don't give you hope to strive to create an opportunity for your children. So I decided I was not going to listen to what they were saying. I did more research than many doctors have gone through because I had to understand what it meant to live with a child with disabilities. And that meant that the hope was not all lost. And so, with his diagnosis, I decided instead of being sad and feeling sorry for myself or for him, I would push him to excel and exceed all expectations of doctors, teachers, anyone who came across children with disabilities, and let them know that there is still life after a diagnosis.
Wow. So was it a doctor who shared that diagnosis with you that your kids weren't gonna live that long?
Yes, doctors, not just one, doctors, because they prepare you. They were born at 26 weeks. So 26 weeks and 4 days is viability at time almost 21 years ago for boys. Girls tend to survive longer and survive more than boys do. And because with a twin pregnancy, so I started to go into labor from they were 4 months. And when I was pregnant with them, I was on what is called Trendelenburg. So I was upside down in a hospital bed because I had what's called hyperemesis gravidarum. That means I constantly was throwing up throughout my pregnancy. And so it came the onset of early labor. So with that, it was a constant negativity. And I understand that they're being very real and giving you what possibly the reality was, but they don't give you hope. And many times I think that now when I speak to people who have children who are going through early labor pains or different things like that, I try and give them hope, even though I'm trying to be realistic at the same time. And letting people understand that a diagnosis is not a death sentence. And so those doctors, I have proven them wrong. And I try and bring my son to see some of those doctors who have told me that. Most of them have now passed on because it's been a while. But it's just to let people know and let him be a living testimony of that.
So, can you share just a little bit about your boys' personalities, the fun thing?
They are very different. Twin A and Twin B, as they call them technically. Kali is, they're both very reserved, but Kali is thriving. And I said, I use the word thriving. So he's Twin B. He's my second son who has all of the disabilities. But he played wheelchair basketball all the way through elementary school, middle school, and high school. He goes back and he gives back to the community now, and he does as a counselor during the summertime. He works with children with disabilities, and during the school year, he works with children with disability playing wheelchair basketball and introducing them to that. Both my boys are gamers. One is a professional gamer, but they love playing games and interacting in that space because disabilities are not seen or heard once you're online and the face of everything else that's going on. People can't see that you're disabled. So he gets to equal the playing field during that time. Kimari is fully functional. He works for a major organization right now, and he is enjoying what he does. He thought about going into the military, but changed his mind after. And when we think about disabilities, and especially with twins, one sometimes has a higher disability rate than the other one, just depending on if they're A or B, number one. And number two, just depending on the time of delivery, the time it takes to deliver those children. And so when we think about those things, he was impacted more mentally than physically than his brothers was. And so both boys love sports, love to watch sports. They're involved in sports, but they're just like everybody else, and I never treat them any different.
And I agree
One,
with you 100%. Go ahead, Cindy.
yeah, one of the things that she mentioned that really, I could really relate to was when she was given the diagnosis and the doctors told her that the babies were not going to live. And I remember when my daughter I had a daughter who passed away, but when she was born, they gave her 3 days to live because she was born with a rare form of dwarfism called anatrophic dysplasia. And the lifespan is usually from hours to 3 days. And my daughter, although she did not live as long as I would have wanted her to, but she lived for almost 3 months and she fought hard. The only downside was that I did not have the support that I needed to, and the hand that I needed to help her live a little longer because she was fighting to live. And I didn't have that support, that person to stand with me to say, let's do this and let's do that. But so when the doctors give you a diagnosis and they say, well, this is the time that they have, you have got to get a second opinion. You have
Nope.
got to fight for your child because you become your child's heirs. You become the arm, you become their nose, you become everything to them. And if you don't fight for them, no one else will.
I
Absolutely.
guess I might be interviewing both of you at the same time too, because both of you have been going for similar things. Then, Cindy, I guess you stay on for real. Just stay where you are, because I have a really good question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
As women, how has that experience or those experiences shaped you?
I'm going to let my guests answer that.
Yes, let your guest answer first.
For me, overall, it has made me stronger. It has made me decide to look at life through a different lens. And I think when we think purpose, we're purpose driven. And as women, we're always dedicated, not just our maternal instincts kicking, but when we talk about, they talk about the bear, the mama bear, you are protecting your child. So you become stronger innately. And so with that, it's growth and development. You have to grow up very quickly to be a part of your children's life, to advocate for them, as Cindy was saying. You have to speak up for them, but you also have to arm yourself with the knowledge to create opportunities for your children. And I'm not just talking about a job or anything else like that. Is to speak up for them so they can be in spaces, be included in school activities. We're not just talking about an IEP. We're not just talking about sitting somebody in a classroom. We're talking about how can we help these children thrive in a society that was meant to put them in the corner.
All right, Cindy, you want to take that one too?
Absolutely. Um, in addition to everything that she said, we have got to, it has shaped me to understand that when I thought that I was alone, there are people just like me who are going through similar situations, even worse. And it gave me the courage to be a voice for other women. It has given me patience more than I thought I could ever have. And let me tell you, when I see those small accomplishments in my son, and I'm sure you can relate, Tamara. When you see these small accomplishments, it gives you that drive. You have a power from deep within you to fight, to continue fighting, and to continue pushing for your child. Like she said, it may not be an IP. The IP will just give you the basics. But for you to really get that child to the place where you need that child to be to function better in society, you have got to put your best foot forward. And you are gonna get fights. They're
Oh,
gonna fight you.
Yes, for
But you gotta
sure.
put your
you
best foot
have to
forward.
show up and be strong-willed. You can't allow them to just say, oh, this is it and it's done. No, what
Yes.
if? And ask those questions, ask probing questions during the IEP meetings, during the conferences, during the doctor appointments. You have to constantly be on top of your game, because what will happen is that they will brush you and your child aside. And that's not what we want. And that's not how our children are going to be able to be stronger. And we're not just talking about physically stronger, it's mentally, because they have to become advocates for themselves. Whether they're verbal
Mhm.
or nonverbal, they have to know, understand what it takes to be a fighter. They fought to be here, and they continue to fight every day, day in and day out. And for me, I see where disabilities are being looked at differently now. And so, with my son going into an interview and he's rolling in with a wheelchair, and a major organization had him come out of his wheelchair to walk to be interviewed, I haven't even dealt with them yet. And so, it's now educating the population and educating our world that people with disabilities are people too. They are just as much and more valuable, if in some cases, than others. So don't think of them as less than. They may just have a
Wait,
physical or mental impairment.
I'm getting all worked up now.
Yeah,
Wait a
yeah,
minute.
yeah. I know we can't really get worked up too much, but you know,
What did they do?
yeah, we get one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For real, yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that you
I want you to, I'm sorry, Baptist, but I want you to
say
I
it
want
again.
you to tell us again. Say it again. What did
They
they
had him
ask you
get up
to
on
do?
this wheelchair because they did not have ADA accessible space for him to go to the interview room, and there was no space for his wheelchair to pass the boxes that were in the hallway on the way to the staff lounge and to the office area. Yes,
No,
ma'am.
there are laws protecting people with disability in the country.
They are. They are.
Tons. Oh, you know, that's a good segue right now into the next set of questions for you, Tamara. As you watch your son grow, right?
Mhm.
And the milestones, you're watching the different milestones and the successes as he went through life. Can you share some of those milestones and successes? And how did that make you feel as a mom, fighting the good fight, putting everything out there, and always asking all the probing questions just so your son could be seen?
I think for me, it's celebrating every win. There is never a win too small. So it was when he walked, he didn't walk until he was 2 years old. That was a big thing for me. Most parents were like, oh, my child walked at 9 months. Well, mine didn't walk until he was 2 years old. His brother walked at one, but he was at two. When he started talking and reading, that was in itself a milestone, and I celebrated those things. I have documented their life, and I'm a part of a documentary too, but I've documented their life from the day that they're born. Every month I still take pictures. I still document the growth that they have gone through. And the growth, physically, they're now 6'2" and 6'3", coming from 2 pounds 6 ounces and 14 inches. They're now 6'2" and 6'3". So my boys are not small boys by any means. And so when we measure success, we measure it one day at a time. And sometimes it's 1 hour at a time. He has gone through 9 major surgeries. So in that sense, I have tried to fix what they said we couldn't fix. Yes, he's still in a wheelchair, but he is functional. Yes, he still had to go through some other changes, with digestive systems, etc. But when we celebrate, going back to celebrate, is that you celebrate each time he comes out of anesthesia. We celebrate each time that he graduates to the next grade, because that's what I celebrated it as. Not just he matriculated to the next grade, that he graduated, that he did the work and put in this time. We went through COVID, and COVID was hard for us being home, but was the healthiest 2 years of his life, because he spent 2 years at home with me going through COVID. And so, with that being said, he graduated on time with his twin brother. So, for me, success means that we have hit every milestone that they said that he would not, that he has graduated with his class. He walked across the stage on the day of graduation. We practiced with the school, with his walker, with everything else, to make sure that he could walk and collect his high school diploma that he had earned. It's not specialized, there's nothing different. It's a traditional high school diploma that they said that he wouldn't do, but he did. And so that celebration itself is life. So I celebrate every day that my sons have. Every birthday is a big birthday. I don't care. This year they're about to be 21. So it's going to be the celebration of a lifetime.
He can have his first beer, right?
Listen, he's ready.
Red stripe. He can have his first red
Red
stripe.
stripe bear. A red stripe bear. But it's so much more than that. It's entering into true adulthood. It's being
Yes.
truly, and he's a very responsible son. He doesn't give me any, as Jamaicans are Lucians, they're talking. He doesn't give me. He's so respectful. Everybody says he's so mild mannered and sweet. He's a gentle giant. He's the tallest of his brothers. He broad shoulders. He played wheelchair basketball, so he's very rough when he's on the court. But off the court, he's a very mild mannered and sweet boy. Young man, no longer boy.
Yeah, can you tell us about him playing basketball? Because you mentioned that quite a bit, and I think that's part of his journey and his story.
Yes. His story started when and even my story. So, one of the things that I talk about is art and advocacy and how those intersected. So, while he was in the hospital when he was 9 years old, we were in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. And a part of what they create for the children and respite for the children was that they go down to what's called the zone. And he played video games, but outside was a basketball hoop. And he had just had surgery 2, 3 days later, and he wanted to play basketball. And I'm like, Khalid, you just had surgery, you're healing. How are you going to play basketball? So I strapped his leg to the lift on the wheelchair, got in the basketball, he started bouncing it. He played basketball before he had that major surgery, but I didn't think he would be able to play now that he was going to be in a wheelchair more. And so we were there at the zone. He was playing basketball, and a life specialist came down and said, "Hey, do you know that there's adaptive sports?" And I said, "Adaptive sports?" Hadn't heard about it at this time. So they told us about an organization called ASP, which for people with adaptive sports and disabilities, and it's called Blade Sports as well. So while we were there, I also took the opportunity to start sketching and painting and doing different things down there to get my mind off the fact that we were going to be here for 30 to 60 days in this hospital as my son went through rehab, as we went through teaching him how to re-walk, as we went through the summer with my other sons being there. And so basketball became his escape. We started playing for the Henry County Hurricanes. He learned the sport. He learned to play wheelchair basketball, wheelchair handball, and also wheelchair football. And they're completely different sports, but what it meant was that he was a part of a team he was a part of an organization and organizations with people who looked like him, who had disabilities, but they were happy to be on a court. But it's not just what you think it is. It's very hard. If you ever get a chance to watch a wheelchair basketball game, especially at varsity level or a college level, you will see the impact. It's just like rugby or something or football where they're crashing into each other, throwing the balls, and they're doing all these different things. But people have to understand that children with disabilities have the ability and the aptitude to do so much more than you think. You can adapt, and everything is adaptable for people with disabilities. So, wheelchair basketball became his outlet. He has one of the widest wingspans in the entire National Wheelchair Basketball Association. He's very tall and handsome. And so, he went on to college, and he still has the opportunity to go on to college to play wheelchair basketball or play in Europe because it's a big thing in Europe as well. But basketball became his voice. Basketball became the time that he could show everybody what he was capable of doing. And it also allowed him to advocate for others, to introduce other people to adaptive sports.
So okay, I have a question. Since he's into sports, it's completely different from all the questions we have written out for you.
Mhm.
Tell us about the vehicle that you move him around in.
It varies. It varies. It's generally not an SUV, and we break the wheelchair down because he has to have two wheelchairs when we go anywhere. So wheelchair basketball has a special or basketball chair that he has to do because it's
Mm-hmm.
catacornered, like it's the wheels are shaped differently than a traditional wheelchair. So I use an SUV for the time playing. I use an SUV to take him around. At the time, my Kia Sorento and my Nissan Quest, I had a minivan when he was younger, when they were younger, because we traveled so much around the country. He didn't just play here in Georgia. We had tournaments in North Carolina, in Chicago, in North Dakota, in Minnesota. We traveled around the country. Most times we traveled by plane. If it was, within driving distance, we would drive. But most times we were on a flight with two wheelchairs to wherever we were going and got a minivan once we got there. And we were able to do that. So it
I would,
varies. Mhm.
I would like to show the video. There's a video that you were speaking about your son,
Yeah, go ahead.
and I
That's
would
when he was
like to show.
younger, yes.
Yes, so just give me a minute. Let me pull it up, okay?
No worries.
I like to show that video because I think that was really, really inspiring. That video, and I think our viewers need to look at that. Okay, so there we go. Okay.
This was right after surgery. And
Right
Yeah.
after surgery.
Please
his
don't.
Back, we want to
yeah.
introduce you to a 12-year-old Metro Atlanta boy who was a
Oh, please don't tell me it's not gonna play.
Man,
Uh,
the internet in Atlanta is really
fantastic
bad.
example of not letting a serious medical condition stop him from doing anything. Khalil Crook is an athlete, but he has had to fight much more than most kids to wear that title.
He is a very fun-loving child. So I describe him as a child who is driven by doing the right thing, by succeeding. He is very much a fighter, and he has been all these years. He was born at 26 weeks. He developed the cerebral palsy. However, he persevered. I took the time off from work to go through therapy with him, to do occupational therapy and the physical therapy. It was grueling for me as a mother to see him in pain. Fast forward to about 5 years later, at 7 years old, we realized that his legs were just not straightening up, that he was getting weaker as he went by and was experiencing more pain. He realized that his legs didn't move as fast as his brothers did. He started wondering, am I going to be the odd one out? Well, you know what, maybe it's time for surgery. With his surgery, he had a bilateral anteversion, which he rotated his hips outward.
Basically, a surgery to derotate how his femurs, his long bones in his leg, were turned.
So he has a steel rod, and he has nails going through his legs.
That's a pretty complicated surgery, and afterwards he had a lot of pain and difficulty moving. So that's why he ended up at inpatient rehab.
The team at Scottish Rite, they know exactly what needs to be done. His team included me in every decision that was being made. Mom, what did you want to do? Here's where we are. What do you think is best for Khalid at this point in time?
He really worked hard. Despite his pain and limitations, he was definitely a fighter.
I started walking and then I started running. So then I started run faster.
While we were there at Children's Healthcare, you go onto the zone at Scottish Rite, and of course they have the basketball outside.
Dribbling, shooting.
The day after we got there, he said, I want to go outside. I said, Khalid, I don't think you're ready for this yet. He went outside and he started shooting the basketball. Khalid's face lit up when he came here for the first time and he saw children like him. Children who could walk but needed additional help by being in a wheelchair, or children who couldn't walk at all, but they looked like him.
He came right in, got in the chair, has never stopped pushing since.
I am proud of Khalid Alexander because he has beaten the odds. Because they told me he'd never walk, he'd never talk. Go! I am a proud mother to see him grow as an athlete, grow as somebody who's more determined now to succeed. I am proud of him for enduring. So this video is about 9 or 10 years ago. Yeah, about 10 years. It's 10 years. This is our anniversary. It's 10 years now. So that's 10 years ago. And I should have sent you a picture of what he looks like today.
I'm about to show it. I'm about to show it what he looks like now. Just continue talking. I'm trying to find it.
No worries. So when we talk about him persevering and enduring, it's just an understanding that he didn't give up on himself and he still has not given up on himself. And he continues to do great things again with the community. He gives back to children who are in a similar situation that he was in at the age, and just making sure that he advocates. As you heard, his name is Khalid Alexander. So I have named our gallery. We own a gallery, and it's called the K. Alexander Gallery. And it's for people with multiple levels or different levels in their artistry to come in and be a part of a community, be part of a community gallery that showcases in 10 different locations throughout the metro, 8 throughout Metro Atlanta, and 1 in New York and 1 in Montego Bay, Jamaica. So he is now a business owner as we own his business together.
All right, I was just going to ask you about your creative outlet.
So Harry's what's his name? Khalil?
Khalid.
Yes.
That was one of his
beautiful
pictures. He's a little bit taller than that. Again, that was 2 years ago. He has grown more since. Don't ask me how he's still growing. I don't know. But those are one of the pictures that he has.
A good Jamaican food, that's what it is.
Loves him some curry chicken and rice and peas and brown stew.
Curry goat and all that good stuff, right?
I don't even think he likes the curry goat, but curry chicken definitely.
Okay.
And those things like that. And love some fish. Love some good escovitch fish. And so he has grown up on that, and I think that has also helped him. And just being natural, when we talk about sea moss and ginger and things like that for his lungs, that's something that I've implemented for the last 5 years, and it has kept him out of the hospital. So when we talk about healing from the inside out, and that's one of the things that I've been helping him to work on. And as we create that, we do that. So yeah, as we talk about my outlet, art has been my outlet.
Art has been your outlet.
It has been. My life transformed during that surgery as well. That same time that he went down for surgery, I was in the zone painting and drawing and sketching. I've always loved art. I've always wanted to become an artist, as I said, but my mom said no. And at the time when he was going through all these surgeries, I needed an outlet. I also needed a way to make a living. And so I honed in on my skills, my craft, and I am now an internationally recognized artist because of my son being in Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and I started sketching. So
I want to take a moment to ask you guys to please, it is not often we hear a lot of stories, right? We hear a lot of stories of people who are resilient, people who go through so many trials. Those we don't see, those we don't hear about. But I'm fortunate that we have people like you on here on this show, on this platform. So I would like to take this opportunity to ask our viewers to please share the life. You never know who you can affect with just sharing this life, or who you can empower. Share the lives. Ask your friends to come on and just listen. Okay, that's what I gotta say. And subscribe to my channel. So continue, sweetheart. Sorry.
No worries. Yes, and we want to encourage people to understand that they can follow their passion, and their passion will lead to their purpose, right? And so, being in that space at the time, I was still in education when he went into surgery. I was there with him. I was working for the university, but I understood that he needed me more than I needed to be at work. And so, with that being said, I found a way. It wasn't just about making money, it was about coping with the fact that, again, we were living in a hospital room and with my I have two other children. I have a younger son as well, Justin. And so it was all of us being there. And as a mother, and Cindy can attest to this, we're always caring for our children. We can't take our eyes off of them just because we have to make sure that they are doing well and they are adapting. Because this disability does not only affects Lee, it affects his twin, it affects his younger brother. Because there's certain things that he cannot do for himself. He highly functioning, does everything else, but sometimes just to reach for certain things or go through a door or something, sometimes he needs a little bit of a help from his brother. So his disability has impacted the entire family. But one of the things I want to do is to encourage people who are thinking that, again, it's a death sentence to have a disability. It is not. As I said, we currently own a company together. He is the person who does the admin for the website. He does, when we have new artists coming on board, he is the one who is doing the Excel spreadsheets, doing documents and things like that, because that's what he's good at. So it's finding that voice or finding the reason for you to continue to get up day in and day out. And for
I am
me, advocacy and education is the reason why I get up every day.
I'm smiling from ear to ear just to hear, as a mother, like you said, just to hear how far he's come and that he has his own business, guys. He
Mm-hmm.
has his own business. Let me show you her art gallery.
I was
Just
just about to say, let's wow our viewers with
yes,
Tamara's
yes.
art.
Let me show you. Let me show you.
Everyone needs to see her art for real.
Everyone, and then let me hear some of the comments are coming in. I haven't even looked at comments yet because what you're saying is so interesting. But Martha says this is very interesting. She said oh my gosh.
You're a super
she
mom. That
Yeah,
is
she called her super mom, yeah.
bro.
Thank you.
Yes, she said, viewers, if you can send stars, we can encourage to tap, and that is true. Please send stars because it helps me continue this, bringing information like that to the viewers. So thank you, Martha. Martha is always supporting us, so we need to
And that's
support her
always
as well. Yes, so
yeah.
go follow Martha, Mother's Glam Martha. So let me show you guys some of the gallery. Oh my gosh, I was taken aback, breathtaking. Let me show you guys. Let me see if I still have it on here.
Yeah,
All
and on the
right.
website you'll see artwork from us, some of my other artists as well. We import artwork. But yeah, so some of the work is there. So those are some of our artists that we have from Uganda, from Jamaica, from here
Jamaica.
in the US and North Carolina. So that's our gallery in itself. We give a voice to the voiceless, to the artists who are just becoming a author in their career, or people who are in the midway in their career. And so these are things that we can do to help each other. So my design was that I would help somebody else who did not have the opportunity to be in a big gallery. Our small community gallery allows people to be a part of something greater. And it's just the visibility. It just needs one person, the right person, to see a piece of work. So some of the pieces that you're seeing there are mine, as well as some of them are artwork from our 21 artists that we have within the gallery.
So
And
going
so,
back to some of your pieces, Martha, digging deep, right? Finding those
mhm.
inspirations. Where does it come from? Besides life, right? Besides being a super mom like you are, what does all that creative inspiration comes from?
I'm very much left and right brain, so I'm very much detail oriented, very numbers oriented, but I need a creative outlet. And so with art, I wanted something that where it was going to change the world. When somebody looked at a piece of artwork, it's not just on canvas. I create 140 different items. So I create pillows, I create dresses. Tabitha Brown has worn my designs. Tabitha Brown is America's mom right now. So she has worn my leggings and my swimsuits and my dresses. And so when we think about entrepreneurship, it's not just, oh, can we create one thing? And you know, as a business owner, because you're an author, so you know, appealing to the masses, but still being true to yourself. And I think for me, it's standing out consistently. And when people think they're figured out what exactly I'm going to do next, then I come and surprise them even more. And so I am known for my silhouettes of women's backs, and because I think it's the sexiest part of a woman. And so it's not about just an appeal, right? And an appeal from a sexual standpoint, and please forgive me for saying that, Cindy, but from an appeal of strength, of vigor, of the backbone of a woman that allows somebody to, she's exposed, but she's so strong, right? And so I have been now coined, as the silhouettes. And you see my hats, I'm known for my hats as well. So I create one of a kind hats for people. I'm normally in a hat, but today I chose not to put my hat on. And the hat in itself is symbolic. It's not just a literal hat, because as women and as entrepreneurs, we wear different hats. And so I have coined that, it's my hat, and how I feel it. And adorning a hat allows me to take on a different persona, if you will. Each time a different hat is a talking point, it's a conversation piece, and people are intrigued by the different hats that I do. And that's one of my pieces that we have, that is the feathers, and it, again, with feathers, Caribbean, carnival, all of that. We're bringing that onto canvases and bringing that and the silhouettes in itself for people to just feel amazing. I started this series during COVID because we weren't dressing up during COVID. We were in our pajamas the whole time. And so we stopped dressing up. And so for women, it's very important that we dress up and feel good. And sometimes putting on a beautiful dress and getting our hair done makes us feel amazing.
I'm just showing some of the pieces, guys. It's just like the wow. It is unique. It is unique.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
And
Earlier on, you shared a story about how your mom did not want you to pursue art as a career. And a few years ago, and it immediately brought me back to just a few years ago when I met this 86-year-old lady,
Mhm.
and she did a painting and she wanted it to put on canvas, and it was one of the proudest moments of her life that she was able to create that piece. She said to me, when I was a young girl, that's all I wanted to do, but my parents killed my dream, and I've regretted life since. And she was
Yeah.
86 years old, and that crushed me. And I'm like, we all gotta follow our dreams, because the creator gave us all different gifts and talents, and we just need to find our purpose and go
And
with it.
mm-hmm. As dare to dream. So I'm known as a dreamer. My other business is called Three Dream Designs, and that's where I create my fashion and my interior design. So I'm an interior designer and a fashion designer as well. So Three Dream Designs is where we do that part of the business. And it's about dreaming. I did not want to have any regrets in this life. So when I stepped and left corporate America, but it's like, are you crazy? So I left it for two folds, because I knew I had to care for my sons, but I also knew I had to give myself the opportunity to say, I tried it. Even if I failed, I tried it. I became an artist. I did all the things that I wanted to do. I traveled countries doing my artwork. I created an opportunity not only for me, but for others as well. So I paint whatever I feel like painting. I don't worry about what people think about the painting or if it's going to sell or whatever it is. It's in that moment I'm painting what makes me happy. So I have no regrets. And that's what I think that has defined who I am as an artist, as a designer, as a curator as well, it allows me to truly have my voice and be not just a voice of reason, but the voice of no regrets.
And you're creating those spaces for other people to rise as you rise. And that's the same message I have in my book, Dear You Dream Big.
Mm-hmm.
Because together as a community, that's the only way we can really do it. If we all pull together and we help each other at, at every stage on the journey of whatever our path of the path we choose. Yes.
Yeah. And that's important.
You go ahead.
Instead of being crabs in a barrel, is throwing the rope down, securing the rope at the top of the mountain, right? And throw the rope down and allow people to grab onto that rope and you pull them up because you know the struggle it was to get up on those rocks, to climb that mountain, to climb that hill is now saying, you know what, I've made it, I'm secure and I'm safe here. And you're never completely safe, don't get me wrong, but it's about throwing that rope down and saying to somebody else, hold on, I've got you, come up
I
with
got
me.
you.
And great, yeah, I got you. And that
I
was
got
I,
the premise of the Alexander Galleries.
I love the point you made when you said that my gosh, I lost my train of thought. That you wanted to you didn't want you wanted to do what made you happy, to live with no regrets, and to say I tried that even if you failed. And
Yeah.
some even if I failed. And sometimes people will tell you, well, you're taking on too much, you're doing this. But as creators, as original creators with a passion inside of us, when we get that,
you.
I call it a zing.
Creative
Exactly.
juice. That creative juice.
Adrenaline
When
rush.
we get the creative juice, we just have to do it.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that you said that you don't care what people thought about it. And that's how I write. When I write my poems, I don't care if you like it or not. This is what came from me at
This
the
is it.
moment.
Mhm.
And this is what I'm feeling. The original. So I am sure your pieces have
Mhm.
touched people in ways that you wouldn't even thought they would.
A couple
Exactly.
of things. There's no such thing as failure in my world. That's an
Exactly.
opportunity to do better. And a friend of mine said one time, every mistake is a design.
Absolutely. There are no mistakes in art either.
Nope.
None.
So go ahead, Tamara, with your point.
No, my point is there's no mistake in art. There's no mistake in design. There's no mistake in creativity. There are opportunities. And so, for me, there are so many things that go into the creating of a product, the creating of a piece. Sometimes people are like, is this from the same artist? And I'm like, yeah, I can paint whatever I want to paint. I
Hmm.
just choose to paint certain things. And so my opportunity is to show people that no matter what it is that you're trying to achieve in life, whether it's writing a book, whether it's writing poetry, whether it's creating a handbag, whatever it is, it's just do it scared. Don't care what it is, just do it. At least you can say, this was a prototype. At the end of the day, at least I can say, I did not shy away from doing something. And so I'm still in corporate training. I still train with organizations and help their employees, whether it be anything from HR and operations management. I still go into that space because I need both sides of my brain, right? And so I do it with art. I do it with a creative flair that I come in with, whether it be my colors, whatever it is. It's still being able to show up and show out in spaces and be your authentic self, no matter who it is. And also being able to not be scared to show your work. I post every day. People are like, you're always posting. Of course, I'm not on there posting. I've scheduled my posts. So I'm very strategic in what I do. But I'm also telling people, why are you worried about what somebody's going to say about the book or the art or whatever it is? Because you just need one person, one single solitary person to discover you, and that can change your entire life.
And that's the same thing in publishing. It only
Yes.
takes 1 year to set your career on an upwards trajectory. One
Mm-hmm.
person say yes, and that's all it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Wow.
we need to stop
This
wondering and waiting. Stop waiting for it to be perfect. Stop
this
waiting on everything to come together. Just do it.
this this is a very powerful statement. because people will tell you, well, you are doing this, you are doing that, okay, you posting here, you posting there. But if you posted one place, who can see how many people are going to that one place? Okay,
Not a
just
lot.
a few people. So you have to, like you said, be strategic and be consistent. And that also touched me in another way as well, because I baptized the story, and I think I said it before. I was scammed, and that could have broken me. That could have broken me to the point say I don't want to write anymore because people have taken so much from me.
Mm-mm.
But let me tell you, the zeal and the power that I have inside of me and everything I know that I can manifest and I can be, one person's wrong cannot be my downfall. One
No.
person's wrong cannot set me back. I have to
Mm-hmm.
keep moving. We have to keep pushing ourselves forward, and we have to keep showing up for ourselves every single day, despite the negativity, despite the challenges, despite the setbacks. We have to do it.
Yes. And let that no be your motivation, right? Don't let that no be the thing that stops you. Whether you get a yes or a no, stay motivated. Let them use the same power, right? And drive you. Say, okay, I appreciate your input and the feedback, but here's what I'm going to do next. It's the fuel that fuels the fire. And we need to stop being discouraged when people, the fact that they're looking at you, obviously, that's a great thing too. You took the time to come and look and see what I'm doing. Hey, I see you watching me. I appreciate you watching me. And that's it. So I'm going to,
Yes.
people, you have to be confident. You have to own, and even if you make a mistake, you own that mistake. You own that error. You own whatever it is because it's mine. At the end of the day, I can say I did it. That person probably has never tried to write a book, not written a poem, not painted a painting. I talk in front of hundreds and sometimes thousands of people online or in person when I'm doing my trainings or I'm doing my keynote speeches because I have a story and my story is my own. Nobody else can have the story that I had with the
Absolutely.
twins. Nobody's had the story where they've gone from corporate America into art and still in corporate America as I'm doing training and development. Nobody has that story. So I am unique. I am my own person. You'll never meet another Tammy Gammon. And that is it. So, baby, I'm a podcast host.
Everything, everything you're saying is like music to my ears. I'm thinking about no one knows all the rejection letters I get from the publishers before my book is published. And it's not overnight success. I do get a
No.
lot of those rejections and I don't talk about it. And that's why I always say, like, on the journey of wherever you need to go, we always gotta be humble. We always gotta we always gotta look out for each other because it's not an easy journey and try to help as many people as we can on that journey.
And that's the point is being humble but be proud at the same time. You can have humility but you can still have pride in the work that you do and what you're accomplishing, right? Because you have to show up. People won't buy from people who are constantly sad and naysayers, right? They want to have an upbeat life and they want a story. Dreamers, they want to dream. And it's not a selling somebody a dream, it's allowing them the opportunity to dream for themselves, to see the endless possibilities that life can give them if they take the first step. And I think that is when we're talking about parenting, when we're talking about business, when we're talking about life in itself, is just to give the person the opportunity. That's all we need most times. And Caribbean people is that we call in Jamaica Tony Hand McFashion, is that we're gonna use that one little thing that you give us, that 1 ounce of thing, and we're gonna multiply it and we're gonna create something new from it because that is what is innate in us as Caribbean people. And so, I think about that. It's just success is one step at a time. It's putting
I,
one foot in front of the next.
I like what you're doing because you are bringing faces into spaces that were previously, how would I put it, kept away from us.
Yes.
All of our faces, our brown faces in those spaces, and
Hmm.
highlighting some of the most amazing talent out there. Not just yours,
Yeah.
not just your son's story, but other artists as well. And this is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Tamara,
Mhm.
you wear so many hats. Someone to tell me something. Listening to you tonight, I am so empowered because you wear so many hats. How do you find the time to do all of that?
Schedule. As I said in a post that I made last night, as a single mother and an entrepreneur, I have to live off of a schedule. If it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. And so I have had to prioritize. I have priorities that I have to accomplish. I scheduled everything. Before I came on the call, I erased 28 alarms that I have on my phone. And these alarms are for my son to wake up, my youngest son to wake up in the morning, to just getting things done. And so these things keep me focused. And so my left and right, again, I have to have that being done. And I also have to allow people their time to communicate and my time too. I need respite. I need time to reset and refocus on things that are important for me. So there are times where I shut down and I don't communicate via email nor phone unless it's an emergency. So I take time. It's not being selfish, it's being selfless because I can't pour from an empty vessel. So I have to
Mhm.
refill myself because sometimes I don't have anybody else to refill me outside of, my family and different things like that. So it's pouring into myself and being mindful of that.
Wow.
I know. Amazing.
Wow. Wow.
What a
Wow.
great
Wow.
story. You are such an inspiration to a lot of young Caribbean women out there, and American Black women in the US as well, and women in general. You are such an inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so
you
much.
gotta tell people where your galleries are in Atlanta, all around the world, so they can grab your pens and start writing those addresses down, so people can come visit and buy some art, right?
I,
Absolutely.
yes. So I want to take the opportunity to say we're not done yet, but I just want to take the opportunity to. I'm trying to get it on the screen. My computer is giving me trouble. To say thank you to all those who are you are giving us stars tonight. Um, um, I appreciate you guys, Miss Lucita, Jean Pierre. She gave stars. I don't know why I can't show it. Martha earlier, she gave me some stars. So I'm very very appreciative of you guys showing your support and showing that you trust me in the work that I do as bringing awareness to so many things and empowering women, empowering others like ourselves to be better and to go for what we want. So I just want to say that and say thank you. Martha, it's not showing the stars. Let me tell you, Martha is gonna give me my business.
Martha's getting everything out.
Yeah, she will tell me.
Hold on, so
Yeah.
she only give you stars. She ain't give me stars or what?
Eh.
Man, I ain't get no stars from Martha. All right, Martha, I see you, man. I see you.
I see
But we
everything.
love you, Martha. We love you. And listen, guys. I know you all haven't heard Martha's story. Then what time we did that, but we gotta bring her up there for you to. My Baptist gonna be here for you to hear her full story. We have some amazing, amazing people who are doing amazing things, and then behind the smiles and everything, we as Caribbean people on the whole. We go through so much as Black people. We go through so much. We have so many challenges, and people see us walking and they see us smiling all the time, and then we putting up that strong front, and then they don't know the struggles we face when before we even lay our head on the pillow. The minute you walk in that door, they don't know
Mhm.
the struggles that we face,
They don't
and
understand.
so they don't. Even if you tell them, sometimes they will wonder but how you couldn't. They don't, because they don't have the same backgrounds that we do. They don't come from where we come from. I have heard people who said, I don't understand why this is so hard for you.
Mhm.
I'm like, why are you so depressed about this and that?
Mm.
They don't.
We have to put ourselves in people's position and understand everybody's going through something, and
Mhm.
we have to use kind words, and you just never know what impact your kindness, your smile that day, that
Mhm.
word that you give to the person on the side of the street I tell people all the time, I treat the janitor the same way I treat the CEO, because that person contributes to the effectiveness of an organization. That
Mm-hmm.
janitor is the person, is the reason why you come into the business and you're building and you're smiling, because it's clean and it's efficient and things are being done. The CEO,
Mm-hmm.
yes, have to be mindful of what people are going through. And when we talk about mental health, we have to ask the questions. Don't just say, "Are you okay? All right?" No. How are you doing? What's going on with you
Yes.
today? Take
Yes.
2 minutes out of your day to ask somebody. It doesn't have to always be the same person. How are you doing? How are you coping? Because it's not easy to cope, as you said, having children, having a special needs child, and some people have multiple special needs children. But in
Mm-hmm.
general, in this day and age that we have, that life is so stressful, is just take a moment to ask somebody, how are you doing today? What's going on with you? What do you have next on your docket? What can I take off your plate?
Mm-hmm.
Cindy, you talk about support and you needed support then. It's very important that we support mothers who have children, whether they have disabilities or not. Because once you have a child, your body changes, your mind changes, your perspective changes. And sometimes you're just tired. And sometimes it means a meal that you're bringing to that mother. You're bringing a word to that mother in the sense of a sense of encouragement. Or just say, hey, can I put in 2 loads of laundry for you today, or fold laundry? I talked about that too, that I will sometimes be in meetings like this and I have 2 loads of laundry sitting on my dryer behind me, because life is lifing.
It is
Baptiste talked
different.
about that. Life is lifing. So when you see me show up on screen and the makeup is all done, trust me, when I go back downstairs, I have dishes to wash because I cooked stew chicken earlier and I have to go and wash up those dishes, because my sons have to. So life is real. We are real people, and understand that we need to be approachable when we are in spaces, and let people come to you, because you never know. Cindy and I met because she came onto my podcast, and I love the story, and I want to encourage her that there's hope for her son, and sometimes you just need to give people a little bit of hope.
There's one thing I do every single day. Before I even get out of bed, I ask myself, who am I? And I sit with that thought for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Because
Mm-hmm.
yesterday I was a different person that I am today. And it gives me an opportunity to reflect and learn and grow. But every single day I ask that question. It's like my religion. I ask it. And every day I'm always getting a different answer.
Yeah, because we evolve.
Hmm. We
We
evolve.
evolve each day. Every day we become older, we become wiser, we become more efficient, we become solutions driven, right? Because we had a problem yesterday, we solved that problem, we said, okay, what's next for me? What's next on the agenda for me? And we have to do, and I call it a SWOT analysis on ourselves. What are our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? As far as I am concerned, and not a business, but me personally, I had to look at what my opportunities are. Was I efficient? Can I do more? Can I do less? Do I need to give up certain things? And you have to weigh those things on a daily basis. Of, yeah, Baptiste, you're right. You have to ask those questions and ask yourself those hard questions. So when you're faced with those obstacles and you're faced with those hard things in life, that you have your why, right? We talk about the why, understanding why it is that you get up every day. Why is it that you're continuing to thrive and still doing what you think is best? And so we have to continue to ask those questions to ourselves. And so when people ask us, then we're ready. Right? Because I said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I tell my artists that, I tell people that I coach and train, to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Always have things. If somebody asks you, what do? You should have a 3-minute elevator speech. What do you sell? Oh, I always have something on that I've made or created or in some way. You have to be a walking billboard for yourself. And that's
I
not just
feel like
promote.
you are picking my brain. Because I just made a little video last week and I call it like shameless promotion. Just be out there, promote yourself and the elevator speech. And who can
Yep.
sell your story better than you? No one else.
Nobody.
You can.
You
Oh,
own
you
it.
are picking my brain. Whoa. It's like I'm
This is what
talking
I
to
do.
myself.
This is what I do for a living. So
It's
Wow.
when we
amazing.
talk,
It's amazing too because I just, you both were talking about who am I. I just wrote a poem like about a month ago, asking myself, who am I really? Who
mhm,
am I seeing? Who am I really? And then when you ask yourself these questions, you give yourself an opportunity to dig deep into your soul to really answer that question for yourself. Find out all
yeah,
the components that make you who you are, your weaknesses and your strengths, and you build from that. It's
mhm.
amazing.
Give yourself permission. There's no shame. There's no plug. There's no shameless plug. It's that if you don't promote yourself, if you don't promote your business, then nobody else is going to see you. Nobody's ever going to see what you're doing. I would never have known about you or your book if you didn't come on and we put it on as the first thing that we were doing. I would
I
never have
guess
known about poems.
exactly. I gotta come to the gallery. You gotta have my book in the gallery. Dare you dream
Listen,
big, right?
we got to get this together, and that's one of the things that we do too. So I'm glad you brought that on. When we have events, we have vendors come out, vendors that align with what we want to do. We don't just choose everybody. They become our preferred vendors, so they go everywhere with us as we do these different things. So as we gear up again in the summer, and we'll have some other things going on, we'll start bringing them back on. One of the things that I want for people to understand is you have to believe in your business. The investment is not just a financial investment. You have invest your time and your energy into creating the opportunities that you want. Nobody's going to hand it to you, right? So, and if you don't get a seat at the table, build yourself a bench and put some seats around it, and you bring people to the table. Don't worry about their table. You bring yourself a bench, you bring it where you really need to go, and that is it. But you need to be ready to talk to people about what you're doing. You need to be ready to say, hey, I have this opportunity for you. Be solutions driven. Don't wait
Oh,
for them to ask you.
you always gotta be though. You have to
Yeah,
be for your brand because you're the
yeah,
brand. You're the brains behind the operation.
Mhm.
And early on in my career, like, I was a little shy about it. But as time went on, I'm like, you know what? No one knows my work better than me. I
mm-mm,
am my work. So if no one's going to talk about my work, I'm going to talk about my work. And I
yeah,
give myself permission to talk about my work. I don't talk about me because
mhm,
I don't have this giant ego. I talk about my work. That's all.
yeah. And it will speak for itself. It will start speaking for itself as you continue to brand yourself and brand what you're doing and leave those nuggets. Your work and you will speak, and it's innately will speak for itself. And so
And I
we
can see that.
go. Mhm.
And I can see that exponentially because I travel and I do a lot of author visits around the country. And my schedule is filling up already for the fall and the spring because
Mhm.
I'm out there, traveling the country, doing just a little series, Where in the World is Baptist Ball, where I meet, you know, regular people doing the everyday job and I interview them. And
Yeah.
people are taking notice and thousands of views every week. And I'm getting invites to come speak everywhere. So I guess something is working.
Listen, and it's going to get greater and greater. Your mind is going to be blown as you ask for more, right? Give yourself permission to ask for more. And that means that you're writing down these dreams. And after you've written down those dreams, write down even bigger dreams and allow yourself to dream. You talk about dreaming in your books, you talk about all these different things, but you have to now give yourself permission, because you still haven't given yourself permission yet, to dream even bigger than anything that you could think possible. And I think that,
Oh, that's a good one. I think I have in a way because I said a while back, like I will go just about anywhere on in the universe, whether it's on Earth or anywhere in the other galaxy, to talk book love. As long as there's a way to get there, I will get there.
yeah, and that's what you have to do. You have to aim for the stars, aim for beyond the galaxy, aim beyond all of that, and just say, what if I dream big enough? What if I dream? Remember, this is 10 years ago. I sat in a little room in the hospital sketching, and now we own a gallery. Just sketching, doing whatever it
Yes.
is, and now we own a gallery. So when you think about those things, and I've self-funded, I've never been funded by anybody else. We are completely 100% self-funded. Yes, we'll change one day, but right now I own it. Khalid and I and Harlan, which is my other business partner, we own it. It's ours. And so when we talk about generational wealth, is teaching our children that they own something and they can own something and they can dream bigger than they can even imagine. There's the what if. What if I took the next step? What if I just reached out to one other person and said, hey, have you taken a look at my website? Hey, this is what I offer. Hey, this is what I do. You never know who will see it.
And on that note, it is important that we teach, especially you having a child with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
You are not always going to be there.
Nope.
It is important that you help him, teach him to build that, teach him how to build wealth, so that when you are no more, he's going to be able to be sustain himself and to be able to be great, and
Yes.
to pass it on to someone else as well. Pass that
And
knowledge to someone else.
that's the important thing. We have to teach them and we have to show them. And when we're struggling, we need not hide it from him. When I said, listen, we only have $35 left for this month that we can spend. That's all that we can spend. You have to have that transparency with your children
Mhm.
or with people that you're doing business with to say, hey, listen, we've spent all we need to spend out the budget. This is all we have. And let them understand that money doesn't grow on trees and that there are struggles that you're going to have as an entrepreneur, right? There are times where you're just like, ooh, when I launched my business and sent Tabitha Brown that collection, $300 worth of merchandise, and I'm saying, I could sell this stuff and make some money. I had $2.30 left in my bank account. And I believed enough in myself and my product that I sent that package to her. And within a week of her posting it, we had $10,000 worth of orders that same week because of that one post that she made. And it kind of spiraled after that. But you have to be willing to sacrifice the now and the immediate comfort sometimes in business, right? We have to be able
Mhm.
to sacrifice things and understand that we can't show up in the Lamborghini every day, and we're not that 2% that shows up in the Lamborghini. We have to drive a little beat up car every now and then. And we have to invest in our business. And that means that we make sacrifices, but we also need to show our children that we're making those sacrifices.
Wow.
Because one day, the
Absolutely.
long term, yeah, they
You
will
got to
see.
think ahead, plan ahead, and
Mhm.
always think about tomorrow, not just today.
Right.
I I I did tell you, my viewers. Oh my gosh, we got so many people watching now. Okay, I did tell you, my viewers, that when tonight you were gonna be inspired, and I have been empowered, because as we share something in common, not just one dot two, but we are advocates, we are entrepreneurs,
Yes.
and we are moms, we are women, and we raising special needs kids,
And we
Yes.
island people, man.
and we are island people. And as a collective, I remember Baptist and I, we've been talking and we've been trying to put something together. And I know sometimes I'm in my own, I get in my own way,
Mm-hmm.
because I am such an ambitious person. Like, I have so many things going on in my head. I got in my get in my own way. But Baptist and I've been talking about putting an event together in Atlanta for Caribbean people. Remember that, Baptist?
Absolutely. It's still in my brain, man. I got it front and center. Yeah.
Yes, and I have not forgotten either. And it is good that we are doing this live. Excuse me, let me drink some water.
Yes.
It seems
My
like that's
throat
where all the island people hang out in Atlanta. I guess I gotta move to Atlanta now.
We can come to New York. We can come to different places, and that's the thing. We need to travel around as a united front, as the Caribbean,
Yes,
and see. One thing I'll say: if you're ever in St. Lucia's Airport, you will see my artwork as well in St. Lucia's Airport. My
really.
artwork, my dresses, my T-shirts, my pillows. They're in the airport when you're leaving St. Lucia.
You for
Like
real.
Martha said, we claim you are Saint Lucian. Okay, come on, we are Saint Lucian now.
So Martha, you for real.
Yes, I
For
am.
real, Martha said we claim you are Saint Lucian.
All right. I'm gonna check it out when I go down and I'm gonna post it right with the video and put it
Yeah.
online right away.
Yes,
Yes.
there'll be some left in there. From because they haven't reordered. So yes, there should be some in there. I have been selling for the last 3 years in the St. Lucian Airport. Yes, Lucians. Yes, me know. Isalop.
Oh,
My best friend in college, she's still my best friend. I spoke to her yesterday. So she's from Castries. So I know all about liming. I know all about all that stuff.
oh,
And so
really?
yes, I do. I do. So y'all can claim me.
All right, we
I do
claim
a
you.
content
I
store.
did not see that one coming.
Just that one word you just said, we claim you.
I know she taught me well. She taught me very well. And so we need to come together, and that is it. It's about educating everybody about our culture and everything else. And so this little Jamaican girl who had a dream is selling in a St. Lucian airport. In that airport, my items are being sold. Yeah.
That is amazing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So now you have given me the, oh my gosh, you lit a fire underneath me for me to be able to continue the things that I'm doing, because I'm good at so many things, and I'm good like, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that. And people tell you don't do this and focus on just this one thing, but
I think whatever you do, you just do it well.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And then you can move on to other things. But
Yes.
do what you're doing, do it well. And
Absolutely.
selflessly promote the heck out of it and shamelessly say, I am the boss of what I am doing.
Mm-hmm. Own it. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
I was
Let
going
me
to use another word, but it wasn't going to be appropriate for the script.
let me give a shout out to some of our viewers, because we have so many people came on here. We have Nick Joe who's watching. We have Rosamond Clary, Donna Modest, Quilba Felmi, um Natalie. We have Kimmy J. We have Kakal. How you doing, Calix? We have Master Jean Pierre, Craig Charles, Cheryl Morgan, Andrew Altos. We also had Margie Douglas who was watching. I don't know if she's still here. She's a um I think the vice president for the St. Lucia Association of Georgia. We have Cathy Love. We have so many people who's watching. For those who I can't see, and I just want to say thank you. We can go on and on and on tonight. I'm literally losing my voice.
Go get some rest. Rest up. Drink some
Yes.
honey, some honey and some lime and a little bit of red.
Yeah. But I want to, I always end this show saying this. The slogan of this show is let your voice be heard. I want to hear from our Caribbean folks. Even if, and I was so happy that you took the initiative, okay, to talk to me about yourself. And, we talked about that show.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to reach out to me. Life is life in for me as well. But you know what? Baptist can attest. We want to push our people forward.
Mm-hmm.
We want to help each other. Okay? And Baptist, I love you so much. We grew, we went to the same school, we were raised in the same community of grace, in St. Lucia. And we had lost touch, but Baptist is a loyal friend. He tell you he's gonna be there for you, he's going to be there. And I want to thank you for saving my life today, because I
I
wouldn't
got
be able to.
got you. Like we do on the island. I give you a fist bump. I put you on fist bump. I got you. Got you.
Yeah, but thank you so much. And I want to thank you, Tamara, for being here tonight. I am sure our viewers have taken a lot from your insight, has taken a lot with them, and I'm sure they're going to use it to the best of their abilities. Listen, Marfa is speaking that Jamaican slang. That Jamaican, she said, "Me a hit run now." It was what I can say. But let me say, she put something on there. Maybe you can read. You say, "Me I go, I'm yard now."
Me I go me a yard.
Yeah.
Just
But I want to
influence
say,
you.
yeah, but I just want to say thank you to you both. And remember that slogan, let your voice be heard. Reach out to me. I am always available to book somebody and tell me what date you, because sometimes, like I said, life is life. And I have a child with a disability. I'm trying to get my business going. I'm trying to promote. And just send me that text and say, hey, Cindy, I want that date. You know, my shows on Thursdays and or Fridays. If you have a date that you want to come on, let me know. I will call Baptist. If I can't do it, I will call back and say, Baptist, hey, look, I have this guest over there who wants to appear. Can you host for me tonight? And he'll be glad to do it. And then I'm opening the opportunity and the doors to, I want this to be a community. Poetry and Perspective with Placida, I want it to be a community for us. And so reach out to me and let me know you want to be on the show. Let me hear your story. Let somebody else be inspired by your courage, by your strength.
But
Les
Cindy,
Brown.
but Cindy, we gotta make some coin too, though. We gotta make
Yes,
a
we
little
do.
coin. We need some corporate sponsors to just like run a little ad on the bottom, so we all can make a
Yes,
little coin. Any of you
Yes.
guys got some connections with corporate sponsors who can, you know, we still got kids to feed, man. I
Yes, we
always
do.
say that.
We do. We do. You can always call me, Cindy. If you need a co-host sometimes, just give me a call.
absolutely, absolutely. You
Absolutely.
know, Les Brown said,
Mhm.
all of us have the opportunity. You know, that wasn't Les Brown. All of us have the opportunity to do great things with our lives. And if we are going to do something, we got to put our all into it. Because if we are going to give 8 hours to somebody else's business,
Mhm.
we can invest at least 2 or 3 hours in our own business and build ourselves up.
Yes.
And even if we may fall, no matter how many times you fall, make sure you land on your back.
Yeah, Martha said it like Mia go go Mia
God.
no.
Oh.
Yeah, once you can look up,
You know?
you will find the strength together, because guess who is sitting up in those heavens ready to lend a hand for you together. Okay,
Mhm.
so we can get up. With that said, I love you, my resilient risers. Always remember, never let failure be your finality. Let it be that thing that pushes you to your growth and to your success. Thank you, Baptiste. Any last words from any of you?
Um, all I want to say is, Tamara, you're an inspiration to millions of people. Keep on keeping on and keep doing you. I can't wait to meet you in person when I come down to the Atlanta area. You're a gem, a true gem for women, for young black women as well, Caribbean women. You are a true gem. So keep on doing you.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. It's been an honor to sit here with both of you, and thank you for having me. I hope it's not the last time that I see both of you on screen. And my final thing is just one love.
I like that. One
I
love.
like that. Yes. Well, with that, resilient risers, we are going to say have a good night, and you're going to see our faces again. Until next time, see you
Peace
soon.
out.
Peace out. Good night.
Good night.